Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good evening. You're watching Oman News. First, the headlines. A new category for small and medium enterprises is added to the categories of Sultan Qaboos Awards for Excellence in E-Government Services in its 4th edition. Tender Board awards a number of projects topped by construction of Al-Abila Al-Fayat Road in the Governorate of Al-Buraymi. Economists say the Sultanate is facing the biggest challenge in the upcoming period for the rise of the job seekers number and the need for income sources diversification. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. Information Technology Authority (ITA) initiated a new category for small and medium enterprises to be added to the categories of Sultan Qaboos Award for Excellence in E-Government Services in its 4th edition of the current year. The award will include 9 categories for public sector and 3 for private sector. This was unveiled by ITA's Chief Executive Officer at the press conference on the 4th edition of the award. This year, the door was opened for small and medium enterprises to take part in the category of the best electronic solutions. The Sultanate's signing of the International Convention on the Rights of the Child in 1996 has guaranteed the child's rights in the Sultanate is the best way. This was stressed by a symposium on the topic held at the Higher Judiciary Institute in Nizwa. The convention was discussed by experts from some public and private establishments and non-government organizations to review procedures taken by the Ministry of Justice with regard to the convention. His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, discussed with Her Excellency Nguyen Phuong Nga, Deputy Foreign Minister of Vietnam, who is currently on a visit to the Sultanate, aspects of joint cooperation between the two countries and ways of strengthening them. They also exchanged points of views regarding a number of regional and international issues of mutual concern. Strengthening aspects of cooperation between the Sultanate and Vietnam top sessions of Omani-Vietnamese consultations at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They also exchanged points of view regarding a number of regional and international issues of joint concern. The Omani side was chaired by His Excellency Ahmed bin Yusuf Al Harthi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Diplomatic Affairs, while Vietnamese side was held by Her Excellency Nguyen Phuong Nga, Deputy Foreign Minister of Vietnam. The Shura Council office today discussed an issue of forming a team to be tasked to prepare a draft law of small and medium-sized enterprises in the Sultanate. The office also discussed a host of matters, including the letter by fact-finding committee about Oman Air regarding obstacles that hinder committee's work. The office also asked about inquiry briefing submitted to the Minister of Oil and Gas regarding investments of Orpik Logistics Company and an internal investment of Oman Oil Company, in addition to Council members' discussions of Oman Council views on State's General Draft Budget for the fiscal year 2014. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Hilal Al Mauli, Chairman of the Shura Council. His Excellency Lieutenant General Hassan bin Mohsen bin Salim Al-Sharaki, Inspector General of Police and Customs, signed 4 agreements to establish police stations, buildings and special task force complex in the Governorate of Dhofar. The projects include the construction of new buildings for Salala Police Station and Mirbat Police Station, the development of Al-Mazuna border crossing and special task force premises. The agreements aim to establish and develop police's building according to latest standards that keep pace with modern police requirements. The Tender Board, in its meeting today, awarded a number of projects worth more than 32.7 million Omani Riyals under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Rashid bin Al-Safi Al-Harabi, Chairman of the Tender Board. The awarded projects are as follows. Construction of Al-Abila Al-Fayat Road in the Governorate of Al-Buraymi. Completing the remainder works for the construction of sanitary drainage plant and network in the Wilayah of Haima in the Governorate of Al-Wusta. The additional works for the construction of water distribution network in the Wilayah of Rustaq in the Governorate of South Al-Batina. The board also approved the technical bids for the infrastructure project for Samail Industrial Zone in the Governorate of Al-Dakhiliya. Still to come in our news bulletin. Students of Oman Medical College in the Wilaya of Sohar held medical awareness campaign. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Economists said that the Sultanate is facing the biggest challenge in the upcoming period, represented in the rise of a number of job seekers and diversification of income sources. This came as the Sultanate is preparing the Future Vision 2040. According to Omani economists, the vision focuses on developing logistic and commercial centers, import and export activities, petrochemical industries, tourism, agriculture and fisheries, raising the living standard of Omani citizens, and developing and training human resources were the main pillars of the vision, in addition to developing private sector to absorb the increasing number of job seekers now and in future. It also takes into account the sustainable development shall cover all governments of the Sultanate. Electricity Holding Company announced the electricity rationalizing consumption during the Earth Hour 2014 reached to 9%, which is equivalent to 67,000 kilowatt. The company mentioned that it monitored electricity consumption in the Sultanate, in which individuals and establishments took part by putting off lights in their houses and offices. Officials at Omani Environmental Society said the rationalization percentage reflected the awareness increase amongst society members of rationalization culture and their keenness to reduce burden of government subsidy, consumption culture change and minimizing of carbon emission for environmental concern. The competition of Scouts and Guides Excellence Cup of the Grand Scout His Majesty the Sultan is considered one of the educational contests for which schools of the Sultanate compete. The main committee of evaluating the competition visited Governorate to determine the winners. The schools showcase their Scout activities and services projects to compete with each other. The Municipal Council of Noor Sharqiya discussed during its meeting the minutes of the municipal committee meetings of the wilayas. They also reviewed internal road works and the street lighting, as well as Bit Sordal carriage road, its exits, entrances and culverts for all villages it passed by. They also discussed the letter forwarded from the Minister of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources on studying projects presented by the Council. The members demand for the necessity to provide ambulance along the Governorate's road from Al Gharda in the Wilaya of Mudaibi until the Wilaya of Wadi Bani Khalid. Students of Oman Medical College in the Wilaya of Sohar held an awareness campaign to highlight the risk of heart problems and arteriosclerosis and ways to avoid them through following healthy ways in eating and movements. They showcase models and pamphlets to shed light on the causes and solutions for heart problems. Now for the general weather forecast. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the governorates of North and South Sharqiya, Wusta and Dhofar, with chances of scattered rain over the pass of Hajar Mountains. Rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies. The winds will be southerly to southeasterly, light to moderate. Seas will be slight to moderate with the maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. A new category for small and medium enterprises is added to the categories of Sultan Qaboos Award for Excellence in E-Government Services in its 4th edition. Tender Board awards a number of projects topped by construction of Al-Abila Al-Fayad Road in the Governorate of Al-Baremi. Economists say the Sultanate is facing the biggest challenge in the upcoming period for the rise of the job seekers numbers and the need for income sources diversification. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studio, thank you for watching and good night.